Have you ever thought about how hard it is to really know the person in front of you? Every day, we see people who look nice, act polite, and seem perfect. But how can we tell if they're being real? In today's world, people care so much about how they appear, and lots of folks hide their true selves behind masks. It's not always easy to spot who's genuine and who's pretending. The good thing is you don't need to be an expert to figure it out. There are two simple clues that show a person's real character. They're not big or fancy things, just small signs you can notice in their everyday actions and how they treat others. Most people don't even realize how much these little things say about them. Think for a second. Imagine you could look past words, past fake smiles, past empty promises. What if you could see into someone's heart just by paying attention to the small things they do? This doesn't only help you understand people better, it can also guide you in deciding who's worth keeping close in your life. You might even learn something about yourself along the way. In this video, I will walk you through these two key signals. I promise you that once you understand them, you will never look at other people the same way again. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next videos on personal and spiritual growth. You will find content that inspires, challenges, and transforms the way you see life. And now, let's begin. The way someone acts around people who can't give anything back. That's a big clue about who they really are. Pay close attention when they talk to waiters, cashiers, or even someone asking for help on the street. A kind person doesn't care if the other person has power or not, they're just kind, no matter what. But if you see someone acting rude, ignoring others, or showing off, that says something. It often shows they're hiding insecurities or maybe trying too hard to feel important. Even little things, like saying thank you, can mean so much. You don't have to do anything huge to show you care. A simple kind word or action can say more about your character than a million big speeches. The way a person treats those who cannot offer anything in return is considered one of the most authentic indicators of character. This behavior reflects deep values that do not depend on favorable situations or expectations of gain. Psychologists talk about this a lot. They say when someone deals with people who seem unimportant, their true self comes out. Why? Because they're not trying to impress those people. So, if they're kind and respectful, that's genuine. If they're mean, impatient, or dismissive, that's a warning sign. You can see it in little moments. Watch how they talk to a receptionist or thank a delivery person. Do they smile? Do they show respect? Or do they act like those people don't matter? These small actions are like a window into their heart. According to behavioral psychologists, kindness isn't just something you're born with, but also a routine decision. Some people are inherently grateful and respectful of everyone, and their relationships with others reflect this quality. A simple grin to a clerk, for instance, conveys not only polite behavior but also a recognition of the value of others, a natural tendency to esteem people regardless of their status or occupation. Little things reveal big truths, and watching closely will show you who's truly kind. There are times when someone acts mean towards someone who cannot fight back. It'd be a sign that someone is concealing something. It could be that inside they feel small and by pushing others down, try to be big. What psychologists called an insecure attitude and desire for superiority being shown in action as if he is covering up his own fears or doubts with authority of another kind. Don't stop at superficial interactions. Observe a person's handling of minor interactions. For instance, a person who loses their temper with a waiter over a trivial error might not be able to control their emotions. A person who handles the matter with composure and empathy, on the contrary, someone who approaches the situation calmly and with understanding shows valuable emotional maturity. I ask myself easy questions. Does this person say thank you often? Do they give to others without asking for anything in return? Or are they only interested in obtaining what they desire? I search for these things because they give me a better idea of a person's true nature. As you observe others, consider your own behavior. How do you approach those who have nothing to offer you? Do you ignore these interactions or view them as meaningless moments? It's a good way to check my own heart. Honestly, noticing this stuff helps me get better, too. It makes me more aware and teaches me to be kinder. Watching how people treat others who can't give back shows the truth about them. It's like looking through a window straight into their character. When you're trying to figure someone out, look at little things they do. It's amusing how tiny actions can tell you more than a whole bunch of words ever could. And remember, kindness and respect are always choices that reflect the best of who we are. It shows the good stuff inside them. There's another big thing to notice, though: keeping promises. Promises are like glue for trust. If someone says they'll do something and then actually does it, it's like they're saying, "You matter, and I mean what I say." Keeping a promise is not just an act of good manners, it is a clear signal of personal integrity and respect towards others. When people don't keep their promises, though, it can mess stuff up. Relationships get shaky, and their word stops meaning much. From a psychological point of view, they say keeping promises isn't just about how others see you, it also makes you feel good about yourself. Psychologists, such as Albert Bandura, famous for the social learning theory, emphasize that actions shape not only other people's perceptions of us, but also our own self-esteem. A person who sticks to their word, even when it's hard, shows they're solid. They respect themselves and the people around them. Showing up on time, finishing what you said you'd do, or even just keeping a small promise to a friend says that these details build a clear picture of their trustworthiness. Though, the true test of integrity comes in times of adversity. If someone still tries to keep their promise, even when it's not easy, you can tell they've got strong personal ethics. But if they give up or find excuses, it might mean they're not as reliable. How a person responds to a circumstance where a promise cannot be kept is just as telling. According to psychologists like Brené Brown, a specialist in authenticity and vulnerability, admitting faults honestly and providing a concise justification demonstrates emotional maturity. They may be disrespectful to others and to their own worth if they refuse to accept responsibility or downplay the significance of a broken commitment. Little by little, these things build trust, and trust is what makes relationships real and solid. When you want to learn about someone's character, just watch how a person takes their commitments. Are they serious about what they commit to? Are they attentive to detail? Like meeting deadlines or keeping their word. Pay attention to whether they promise too much and then fail to deliver. Overpromising can mean they don't know their limits, or maybe they don't take their own words seriously. A trustworthy person doesn't stretch beyond what they can actually do. They keep things real and focus on doing what they said they would. It's not just about watching others, though. Reflect on your own behavior. Do you stick to your promises, even the small ones you make to yourself? For instance, if you say you'll start a new habit or work on a goal, do you really stick with it? Being consistent with yourself is the first step to developing strong character and inspiring trust in others. Keeping promises is one of the most powerful indicators of character. Nobody's perfect. They're about showing people you're reliable and steady. When you see someone keeping their word in little things, like helping out when they said they would, or in bigger decisions, you're learning who they really are. It's like building a picture, piece by piece. And always remember, keeping promises doesn't just help your strengthens relationships, it helps you grow. Being consistent builds confidence in you and makes others trust you more. Think of promises as a bridge between you and others, a way to show respect and care. We sincerely hope that this video has been helpful and inspiring for you. Thanks for listening to these thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on similar content on wisdom and spirituality. Also, if you like this content, share it with anyone you think could benefit from it. Thank you for following us on this journey. See you in the next video.